Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be talking to you about Latin American music, but more precisely about Latin American Baroque music. How it all started. Baroque music was brought by European musicians to Mexico in the early 17th century. One of the early centers of musical excellence at Puebla, in Mexico. The training of musicians, choristers or performers took place in such locations. Many luthiers were needed to make instruments, and, of course, music had to be written. This is the cathedral in Puebla, from the interior and exterior. Architecture. Baroque music always came with Baroque architecture, and Latin America was no exception. One just had to portray a Baroque cathedral or basilica, and add palm trees and or mountains, and could be in Mexico City, or Cordoba, or Santiago. The Spanish Golden Age architecture that was brought to the Americas was to leave an indelible mark on the culture and on the countries themselves. This photo, the one on the top, is the cathedral in Mexico City, Mexico, and the one on the bottom is the cathedral in León, Nicaragua. The photo on the left of this slide is the Church of St. Francis in Granada, Nicaragua, which was built in 1529, and the one on the right is that of the Cathedral of the Missions in Concepcion, Bolivia, which was built between 1753 and 1756. Composers. Maestros de capilla, chapel masters, or Kapellmeisters were needed to train future composers, musicians, choristers, and to compose musical works. There were several famous composers, such as Gaspar Fernandez, born in 1566 and died in 1629. This composer was cantor of the Cathedral of Évora in Portugal, and in 1599 was appointed to be organist and organ tuner of the Cathedral of Santiago de Guatemala. He composed both vernacular and church music. Then there is also Domenico Zippoli. He was born in Italy in 1688 and died in 1726 in Argentina. He was Scarlatti's pupil. In 1715 he was appointed organist at the Church of the Gesù in Rome, the mother church of Jesuits. In 1716 he joined the Jesuit novitiate, and he arrived in Argentina in 1717 and completed his priestly studies. During this time he was chapel master, and his works became renowned across the missions. There is also another composer I wanted to share with you, Roque Jacinto de Chavarria. He is Bolivian and was born in Sucre, Bolivia. As a child he was taught by Juan de Araujo, a Spanish musician, and is the composer we will talk more about later. If one looks attentively, one can see that there is a full circle in how the music spread. It went from Europe to North America, Mexico, via Central America to South America, from where it came back to Europe through Zippoli's and his colleagues' music. And this illustrates it more in detail. Instruments. Although at first all the instruments came from Europe, the natives quickly became good luthiers and made many Baroque instruments. They still make violins and lutes, etc. to this day. Native luthiers even started to make variations of European instruments, such as the Paraguayan harp. It was based on the 16th and 17th century European models, and was handcrafted by the Tupi-Guarani natives, who were very skilled. Now I will show you some examples of this Baroque music in Bolivia, with a clip showing the Bolivian Baroque. This is a song called Fuera Fuera and is composed by Roque Jacinto de Chavarria, who was born in 1688 and died in 1719 in Sucre, Bolivia. And the theme is about who loved the Virgin Mary more, the Spaniards or the locals.
Fuera, 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 hágales lugar, que los indios vienen y no es novedad. El que en el portal nada vida arriba, pues se ha resuelto ya. Además, que al que se venido todo y nación. No burles más por españolera, todos somos gente, hijos de nada, y la niña todos venieron buscar con perdón todos de la vida. Oye, una historia debe estar, iba y kumar, es novela naita, todos somos uno, hijos de la naita, no burles creyendo con su cara.
Conclusion. In conclusion, the Baroque, with its richness in architecture, literature and music, can be called the first truly global art movement. Baroque music exudes in beauty and details. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation. Are there any questions?